Well, the New York Jets have been officially eliminated from the playoffs. Well, that was certainly a game. We'll talk about the ups, the downs, and everything in between, plus your phone calls. Let's go.
I'm going to lose my gosh darn bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
I made it clear that my intention was to play, and my intention was to play for the New York Jets.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to the post-game show, recapping the latest loss by the New York Jets and them officially being eliminated from postseason contention with a 32-26 overtime loss to the Miami Dolphins, and only the New York Jets can find these new and creative ways to lose. You know, you thought there for a second, wow, this Aaron Rodgers guy, he looks pretty good. 300 yards passing for the first time in 3 years. Oh, this certainly has to be the game that the Jets win, and they lose. They lose. By the way, our emoji contest continues, so get those memberships flowing, baby. That's youtube.com/boygreen25. You guys can, every membership gifted gives you a raffle ticket to our Jets giveaway at the end of the month. We got to give you people something to look forward to, for Pete's sake. And yeah, it's just unbelievable. You just laugh for lack of a better emotion that this Jets team has had the ball at the end of these games and have just found ways to lose. The Jets go up 8. You're like, man, I mean, everything is right there. And really the reason why the Jets lost this game, there's a lot of reasons why they lost. But the reason why they lost is Davante Adams on 3rd and long catches a pass, and the Dolphins are out of timeouts. There's 1:02 left on the clock. Davante steps out of bounds, and the Dolphins had no timeouts. If Davante catches that ball, knees it right in bounds, the Jets could have milked the clock to about 20 seconds left in the game, kicked the field goal, which ended up taking the lead temporarily, and gave the Dolphins plenty of time. A great special teams return, some timely passes, bing, boom, bam. They tie the game in regulation and then push it overtime, where ultimately they win the toss, win the game. So that Davante play lost it. Now, again, there are a lot of plays that lost it, but that would be creme de la creme. That'd be number one on the list. Now, for the tanking crowd, I'm sure you guys really appreciated that very creative way to lose. And if you are part of the, tanking crowd, this was an exciting way to lose, to put it in one perspective. The Jets lose. They drop down to 3-10. Again, officially eliminated for the playoffs. They currently have the 7th overall pick by Tankathon. For all you Tankathon people, I know you guys like updates. The Jets pick 7th right now. They have a strength of schedule that's tied with the Tennessee Titans, so that obviously, and all these strength of schedules that are incredibly close are going to change, so I wouldn't put too much stock into that. If the Jets would have won, they could have fallen to the 9-10 range. They could have fallen to the 9-10 range with a win against the Miami Dolphins, instead a loss. And the Jaguars win earlier today. There's a lot of hoopla happening. Jets-Jaguars play next week. Titans-Jags still play again. That was the Jaguars' 3rd win of the season. So there's a lot to be decided here, folks. A lot of these teams playing each other, which could completely change the destiny and fate for all our Tankathon people out in the audience. And the other reason why this is an exciting loss, if that's even a word to use, is because of all the promising things you people can take away from the games. Oh, the rookie running backs, yeah, those guys look pretty good. Isaiah Davis, Jackrabbit, Braylon Allen, they combine to rush. Those were the only 2 players that ran the ball for the Jets. 43 yards for Braylon Allen, 40 yards for Isaiah Davis. Isaiah Davis getting involved in the passing game too. 3 catches, 27 yards. Braylon Allen, 4 catches, 38 yards. The future at running back is pretty nice for the New York Jets. These youngsters can get the job done. There's no question. That part is certainly exciting. Garrett Wilson, 7 catches, 114 yards. Davante, 9 catches, 109. There's a lot of exciting, a lot of wow. And again, Aaron Rodgers throwing for over 300 yards for the first time since 2021. I talked about it on the pregame show that, Rodgers had the statistic brought up to him, and he seemed to be really miffed by it. I'm like, I think this is going to end pretty soon, and ended up being today against the Miami Dolphins. Now, the thing that is hard to fathom in all the bad is Tua threw the ball 47 times. He wasn't sacked once. This famed Jets defense, it says, hey, give us a lead. We can make plays. Not one friggin' sack. Their superstar left tackle, Teron Armstead, goes out like immediately. And rookie Patrick Paul, not my favorite Paul, he goes in there at left tackle. And apparently he's the greatest left tackle since sliced bread. And they don't allow a single sack. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And, of course, the Jets got, sliced up. Tyreek Hill, 10 catches, 115 and a tutty. Jalen Waddle, 9 catches, 99 yards. Jonnu Smith had nothing in regulation. Then in overtime, boom, 3 catches, 44 yards, and the game-winning touchdown. So, obviously, they missed Sauce Gardner, Sauce, by the way, Sauce had his best game prior to the injury. So, Sauce was looking pretty good. Obviously, that was a miss. They missed that guy. No question about it. And the Jets offense, they multiple drives, scoring, just score. Their first punt of the game came in the fourth quarter with Thomas Morstead with about 11 and 10 remaining. Unbelievable. Wow. Just crazy. I'll keep going through your comment section. Also, the phone lines are open immediately. If you'd like to vent and jump on the show, feel free to do so as youtube.com/boygreen25. You guys could call into the show right now. Feel free to do so. 2025, here we come. Our number one Austrian Jet fan. Feels about right. Yep. M. Sal KV. Best scenario. Play tough. Maintain draft spot. Makes team more appealing for future coach or GM. You're not wrong, M. Sal. I'm going to be honest. I felt a little conflicted at the end of the game. Like, oh, boy. Like, this means this means that. How can you not be paying attention to those sorts of things? Yeah, it's much better than just, getting blown at 45-6 or something. Like the Jets have been in all these games all year long. There's only been a handful of examples where they've been run off the field. Arizona, San Francisco, really, they sort of got run off the field, although they were sort of competitive early, and then that got away from them. But yeah, there's been a handful of games where they've been blown out. But most of the games they've been in. And Aaron Rodgers, another chance to win the game at the end, and he put them in a position to win the game. So, yeah, I guess from that perspective, you're right. Oscar the Grouch. I was in Miami for this game, and I left before OT started. I've seen this movie too many times. I know how it ends, and I was 100% right. So heartbreaking, man. Yeah, that's the part where I get the tanking crowd. It gives us a better draft position, more attractive a head coach and GM. Before the games start, Woody Johnson, there's a message. Well, obviously it's coming from Woody. The Jets will be drafting a quarterback no matter what happens. You bring Aaron Rodgers back or not. That does not surprise me, but makes it all the more important to maintain your position to be in the conversation potentially for one of these quarterbacks at the top of the draft, for sure. But it is heartbreaking. The Jets, we did the trivia earlier today on the morning show, that the Jets have not beat the Dolphins in Miami since 2014 when Rex Ryan was the coach. People, we've had a few head coaches in between. Todd Bowles, Adam Gase, Robert Saleh. Now we're on Jeff Ulbrich, and we have not won in Miami. And the Jets had all their opportunities to be able to do it. So no doubt it's heartbreaking. And for the players, right? While we're all, a lot of us are rooting for Tank and losing and this, the players in the locker room, Garrett Wilson's pissed. He's like, Jesus, we're finding all these new ways to lose. This sucks. So it's a fine line, of course, the tanking and better position, but you don't want to create this losing culture and allow it to fester. Now, there will be a new regime coming in, and hopefully they can wash off the stink. But it's been a long time. 14 straight seasons of no playoffs, which is the longest in American professional sports, North American professional sports, NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, you name it. Unbelievable. Backwoods aren't cool. I'm convinced the Jets aren't a real football team. I've never seen a team do this bad. NFL has to be rigged. Obviously, there are teams with fewer losses than the Jets, or fewer wins, excuse me. But it's just unbelievable that somehow, some way, all reliable, the Jets find a way to blow it. Now, there's positives. Like I said, we have a kicker, Anders Carlson. Okay, Anders. Good to see you, pal. It's nice to know we have a kicker finally. I wish the Jets would have done this earlier this year. 4 for 4, 100% conversion rate on his field goals. Hell, he's been perfect all season long, regardless of the teams he's been on. Anders Carlson, kicker. We got one of those, thank God. Very nice. Number one Oshner Jet fans likes the Young Bucks. Again, Isaiah Davis looked great. Braylon Allen looked great. And I think it's a pressing question. Again, I love Brees, but why have we not seen these cats more featured, quite frankly? It's a fair question. And again, that's really sort of happened specifically for Braylon since Todd Downing took over. And there's a lot of good that's come with Todd Downing, but the strange usage of the running backs has been bizarre. Sign Eccles. Yeah, Brandon Eccles. He is a free agent to be. He's normally captain interception Tua, but no turnovers for the New York Jets, unfortunately. No turnovers. No picks for Eccles. Shout out to Jamian Sherwood. He's another one who's a pending free agent. He looked to be a great leader out there. Obviously, we had C.J. Mosley lost over the weekend officially. Obviously, he hasn't played in many games this season. Only appeared in or started 3 games this year. But it's been great to see Sherwood evolve as a man, evolve as a leader for the New York Jets. Jamian, yeah, he had a lot of moments today for sure. And as number one Austrian Jet fan says, pass rush toast. Yeah, the pass rush was not existent. Absolutely not there. And we have all kinds of guys. Will McDonald, who came in with 10 sacks. Hassan Reddick, who has this name value as a superstar pass rusher. Quinnen Williams, of course. You have all these cats and a whole lot of nothing against a team that likes to throw the football all over the place. The good thing about the Jets is their run defense was exceptional. Although it looked early like Devon Achane was going to have a game, he ended up finishing with 24 yards, 1.7 per clip. Jalen Wright had 2 carries for 7 yards, and that's it. They had one nice run, but it was called back on penalty. So the Jets' run defense shut things down, which you would have thought would have allowed the Jets' pass rushers to pin the ears back and go crazy, which obviously did not happen. That is for sure. Penalties, another one from number one Austrian Jet fan. We're just on a topic binge here from our number one Austrian Jet fan. Yeah, let's take a gander at the penalties. It was double digit for sure. Let's see here. 10 penalties, 83 yards. Brutal. And all in the worst moments. Absolutely. I guess none more than last week against Seattle on that final drive for Seattle. You really gift wrap that one. Backwoods John Cole said Jets really didn't have time to sack Tua because he was getting rid of the ball quite quickly. He was, but that's why your coverage has to step up, create some opportunities. The Jets were playing off so much, and I get it. You're fearful of the big play on the back end, but you got to handle your business. You got to handle your business and step up. Our number one Austrian Jet fan says drops. Jeremy Ruckert, get the hell off my team, man. You suck. He friggin' stinks. Jeremy Ruckert, all these Jet fans have been saying, oh, Jeremy Ruckert, he's the truth. He's the guy. He's not the guy. He should be off this team. Jeremy Ruckert friggin' stinks. I mean, he sucks. Every time. Rodgers throws him a nice pass, bloop, right off the hands. Get out of here. Get off this team. Go to a new team. I don't care if you grew up a Jets fan. Can he catch the football? And the answer is no. See, my daughter over there is screaming no. No, he cannot. He cannot catch a football. Absolutely brutal. Robert Bianchi, if Devontae goes out of bounds, we win. If the defense plays D at the end, we win. Yeah, sure. Like I said, there's multiple ways to do this, but Devontae, he controlled that. Catch the ball, he had it, and then the Dolphins defender guided him out of bounds. Devontae should have just, fought it. No, and then just kneed the ball, and boom, referee come up and give him these. Keep it moving. Keep the clock moving. They would have moved it to about 20 seconds and change. You have the field goal, and the Dolphins had 0 timeouts. You probably win the game there. Again, the defense, if they play defense, they could stop them there too, but still. That goes to the Devontae play. Rich here, with the champs of the offseason and finding historical ways to crap the bed and lose. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Again, this is the most disappointing Jet season of all time. We've said that before, but now it's official. Again, Mike Greenberg, because someone brought up the old tweet. Mike Greenberg, of course, joined me before the season. It was an absolute pleasure to have Greeny on the show. Hopefully have him on again in the future. But he talked about he had such a passionate plea of like, hey, man, the Jets can win the Super Bowl. And I believed him. I'm like, hell yeah, we can, baby. And not only did we not win the Super Bowl, we didn't get a ticket to the dance, baby. No ticket. No ticket. No ticket to the dance, unfortunately. And here we are. Here we are. All right, let's go to Stanley Mann here on YouTube. We'll get to our callers here in a second. Jets will beat Jacksonville, Miami at the end of the year so that they will draft a terrible quarterback like Allard, the Penn State kid. I'm assuming is who he's talking about. They could definitely beat Jacksonville. Jacksonville stinks and they have Mac Jones. But Miami, in theory, will be playing for it all the marbles in the regular season finale. We'll see. They suck in cold weather, so that would benefit the Jets in theory. But, yeah. Number one Austrian Jet fan. Rodgers solid, but missing easy throws again. Yeah, I complained a few times during the game. Yeah, Aaron missed a couple of guys. Now, I'm not going to really beat Aaron Rodgers up in this game in particular. He was 27 of 39, 339 yards passing to the tutty. Rodgers, for 99% of it, looked amazing. So, no, I won't I won't bash Rodgers. He did miss some early, and I'm like, come on, man, you got to hit Garrett. Come on, man. But for the most part, no, I got to give him a lot of love. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. We've got B-Mac here on the show. What's up, B-Mac? Good evening.
Hey, guy. Hey, boy, guy Green. Hold on, I'm going to put my TV down.
Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, no worries. Okay. Good hustle there. Good hustle there. If I had a stopwatch, that 40-yard dash was pretty good. It was a good 40.
Thanks. I'm calling with my broken headphone.
All right, because Jake made you do the whole thing. Yeah, we need to get you a new pair of headphones, man.
I got it untangled.
Well, that part's good, I guess. We'll try to get you some new headphones, man. Yeah.
It was despite the loss, I thought it was a really entertaining game today. I really thought it was. You know what I mean? I get it. I know a loss sucks, and there's no such thing as more victories. But at this point, is it really like worth it of getting upset today? Like, we know win or lose, they won't go nowhere. You know what I mean?
No, I didn't really get upset, to be honest. Watching the game, I wasn't angry. I mean, there's moments I'm like, geez, come on. But you know, I'm not sure if lethargic would be the word. I'm not sure. I don't even know what the word is. But no, I'm not angry. Just you're just kind of accepting, I guess.
Yeah, it is. Refreshing to see Rodgers look like himself today. I thought, in my opinion, he played his best game outside the Patriots game that we could in the second half of the season. You know, finally got over that 300-yard mark, so people can finally shut that up.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I know they lost, but regardless, regardless how he played today, how do you judge his performance today? And you think him playing like he did today might change your opinion and back, or you think he has to feel like that the next 4 games, and then so you can fully get back on board of him coming back?
Yeah, I would probably agree with you. It's probably his best game. Again, the completion percentage was nice. Obviously, the passing yards was the most he's had in 3 years. So, yeah, like I said, there was a few number one Austrian Jet fan mentioned at the beginning of the game. He was a little bit light with some of the throws. He missed a couple of guys open. But like I said, I'm nitpicking on Aaron. He had a great game. But now that you see that performance, of course, B-Mac, it goes to what you just said. You're teased a little bit like, oh, should we run it back with Aaron Rodgers again? And we're having kind of this herky-jerky thing. To me, as I've said before, whether stay or go, I am leaving that decision up to the next regime that comes in here. Now, I think there is a legitimate case that they could feel compelled to say, hey, let's run it back with Aaron because the other options suck. So, like, Aaron's better than those, so maybe. But, again, to me, that's up to the regime. I think if Woody says Aaron's back no matter what, I think that will limit the options the Jets will have at head coach and GM because some won't sign up for the Aaron Rodgers show. Some will sign up if they have the decision on what to do with the Aaron Rodgers show because then they could just make up their own mind. So, yeah, it's an option on the table. And I know Aaron said he had nothing to prove, but he certainly looked like he played with something, played today like he had something to prove. And he really wanted to get that monkey off his back. And, hey, I played Aaron Rodgers fantasy today, so thank you, Aaron. I appreciate it. Not too shabby for covering my bye week. So, yeah, Aaron looked quite nice. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, I mean, he did miss a couple of throws, but that happens. Like, that's nitpicking deal. A lot of quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes missed. On me, that's just, I just think with him, like, the bar is so high. If he has but he did look better, definitely. I mean, he definitely looked better than he did the last 3 weeks because that was terrible, man. I mean,
and under 200 yards passing, he was god awful. Absolutely, he was terrible.
Yeah, but now, do you think them being eliminated from the playoffs officially? Do you think they should keep playing them these next 4? Or you think this is sim down? And what's your opinion on that?
It's a great question, B-Mac, because Aaron has said himself that it won't matter. But now that it's happened, it's not a hypothetical anymore. It'll be interesting to see if the Jets, because I feel like that was kind of their mentality. Again, we don't know the health status of Brees or Sauce specifically, but if they're not 100%, obviously neither were. The Jets are like, all right, we won't play them, and obviously that decreases your chances of winning because you're not playing your best players, but you're trying to keep them healthy. So it's kind of that fine balance. So sure, I think it has to be a part of the conversation now. And again, 4 games, but it seems like it's really important for Aaron coming off the Achilles. He wants to play in all the games. He says he's incredibly healthy. I'm going to lean that Aaron ends up playing
too.
He did. Oh yeah, he was running around. He was keeping plays alive.
Yeah. I mean,
I think he plays.
That's my guy. It's like, like that passing Garrett. Vincent.
Man, and I don't want to criticize because it was a huge play, the toe tap 42-yarder. But if he keeps it in bounds, it's a touchdown. No one was behind Garrett. If he just chucks it, Garrett's moonwalking into the end zone, and that's like a 80-yard touchdown or something. But still, it's great that they were able to complete it at least.
Yeah. But I know I don't want to hold you up, but I know we got a lot of people. A couple of questions real quick.
Yeah.
As far as this, look, it sucks that the Jets are. I mean, I like me myself. I had high expectations that this team, going into this year. I'm sure a lot of people had high expectations for this team going into this year. It's really alarming when you have all this talent and you are 3-10. Man, like to me, this is not a 3-10. Like I know people say your record, like you are what your record
says you are.
But
yeah, right.
This team is 0-7 with in 1 possession games or less. So if we really look at it, this is not a 3-10 football team. If you really watch the games, like the problem is with this team is they find ways to lose and they don't know how to win. They don't have they have a lot of players on this team that don't know how to win. Aside of Rodgers and Devontae, your vets still. But I just think that it's it seems like this team every week just shoots himself. Like today, they didn't shoot themselves, but again, like this is the 3rd time that Rodgers put him in position to win. And the defense fails him. And I know is like Rodgers is not blameless this season. There's definitely a lot of times that he could have showed up and won games too and put the game on his back, but. I just I feels like me being a Packer fan, it feels like a Green Bay Packer game that Rodgers got the lead, and then in overtime, that special team punt was ridiculous, letting them 140 yards and have that Miami kick a tying field goal, and then Rodgers don't get the ball back. That is classic Packer football for you. Trust me, as a Packer fan watching those games, man, it's just one of them. But I am, happy for him personally that he got over 300 yards because that was breaking my nerves. But I'm glad. I mean, it sucks that they lost, but I'm glad he got over that hump. But
me too.
But as far as the next head coach, I was talking about. I think I brought this up with Jake Assman, and I brought up Nick Saban, the college coach, and I know, and I know he's retired. And I know he used to be in the league. He used to be a head coach for the Dolphins, right?
He was. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think is is there a slight chance that they might bring him in for a job, an interview for the job?
I don't want to be an ageist because I know Dave Briga hates when we talk about age on this show, but I don't want an old ass guy as my head coach, bluntly. And that includes some guys that wouldn't even consider a job, like Bill Belichick, Pete Carroll, Nick Saban. As a football czar of some kind, yeah, let's talk, baby. Nick Saban, in particular, is a guy knows a lot about football, so that would be wildly intriguing. And it's less demanding of a job as opposed to head coach. But yeah, man, I don't think so. Not Saban for head coach. And really, like I said, I kind of feel that way for all those guys, Pete Carroll's, Bill Belichick's, Saban's, anyone of that nature. It just, again, the head coach job feels so demanding that I'm not sure if those guys would be in it. And obviously it would be short term. And then you'd immediately have to be looking for another guy. I'm hoping the next hire for the New York Jets is the head coach for the next 10, 15, 20 years, I hope.
Yeah. It's. I mean, they do got some options. Mike Babel is pretty good. I doubt Ben Johnson's coming, to the Jets, but I do think. But as far as the Rodgers, I do think. To answer your question, I do think the Jets should keep him in the next 5 games, and he said he wants to be all 17. So I think just let him ride it out, and and again, this could be his last 4 games playing football because himself he said that he's not sure if he wants to keep playing himself.
That's right.
But that's it, Paul. Thank you for my call.
Yeah, thanks, B-Mac. We love having you on the show. And I love the creativity of the name. I had not even considered Saban for, I'm sure, a variety of reasons, but I appreciate the call nonetheless. Interesting. Very interesting. We got a super chat coming in, and we'll get back to the phone lines. Every time we get a YouTube super chat, we go to my data, Zariah Luna. Wow. J-Boy. 1 game closer to his coaching staff, and the Rodgers mindset gets long gone. Go Jets, but fuck the Rodgers era. J-Boy here on the show. Yeah, that's the part to me that obviously coaching has come into play for a lot of these losses, and this coaching staff ain't going to be here. So that's a part of it that can maybe help you guys wash, rinse, and cleanse a bit, that the coaching staff is responsible for a lot of this losing and decision-making, and Ulbrich being spread too thin, Downing not being the Jets offensive coordinator beyond the season. There's a lot of play there that you can happen. But yeah, the Rodgers era is one that will be remembered, obviously, with disappointment for obvious reasons because of everything that we've seen. And it is what it is. But J-Boy, I appreciate the YouTube super chat, buddy. And we'll make sure we put you down for a raffle ticket, my guy. I'll put you down right now for that. So thank you so much for the super chat coming in. Thank you kindly. Again, every super chat and membership that comes in, every super chat that's at least $2.99, because that's how much the memberships are. So I want to make it fair for everybody. Every super chat that's at least $2.99, and every membership that comes in, you guys are entered into our raffle giveaway for all kinds of cool Jets merch at the end of the month for the holiday season. So I hope you guys can be a part of that. We really appreciate it. Thank you kindly. All right, let's do this. Let's go to the phone lines, baby. Let's hop back on there. We got our guy, Ricky New York Live, here up next. What's up, Ricky? Ricky? Oh, no. All right, Ricky, I don't know what's happened with your Wi-Fi there. Let's maybe log in, log back out or something, come back in, try to give that a whirl. For some reason, you're having some issues there. All right, let's go to our next one. We have NYJKO.
Hold on, bro.
Okay.
Hey, what's up, bro? How you doing?
Hey,
man?
on camera. We haven't seen you in a while. It's good to see you're alive.
Yeah, man. This game pissed me off. This one, I'm not even gonna put on Rodgers. This one was blatantly on the special teams. On that on that kickoff. If we stopped at least the 20, make them march the field, they had no timeouts left. We would have won the game. Mm-hmm. Listen, man, and everybody could sit there and bash Rodgers, say this and say that. If I think we have a team that's capable of winning. That's number one. As far as offensively, we have
sure.
we got a three-headed attack and Isaiah Davis, Braylon Allen, Brees. So we just got to show up the O line, and the defense has to get better. it has to get better. It has to. And I'm not listening. And that on I've been critical of DJ Reed. He played good today, but on that PI, that was bogus. That was some bullshit.
Yeah, I thought he made eye contact too. I'm like, man, and there's minimal contact. I'm not sure, man. Yeah.
But then you've seen Garrett Wilson blatantly get held.
Oh my god, yeah, he got mugged. Yeah.
Come on. So this is what I'm like, come on, bruh. Like, be fair all the way if you're gonna be fair. If some was a PI, I'm like, that was bad. That was a PI. Like he didn't find the ball at all. But and it's crazy because I thought we was out of the playoff race like 2-3 games ago. It said we were still in the race today. So
technically speaking, that's correct. Yeah. Now we're not. Now it's over.
Yeah, listen, man. Honestly, we got to show up our O line. It's a must. It is a must. We got to show up the O line. The defense. We need a big body in the middle, opposite of Quentin Williams. Will McDonald's only going to get better, but it shows that we really miss Jermaine Johnson. We miss.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think so many people didn't really understand how big of a loss that was.
I knew that was going to be detrimental. That was a huge loss for us because Jermaine Johnson, he's just relentless. He can play the run. He's a nasty pass rush. He gets to the quarterback. So I'm praying that he really bounces back big time from his Achilles injury and really make that, because Will McDonald, his ceiling is only going to get higher. If he add a little more weight on, he's going to be a dangerous passer. He's going to give me I think a Micah Parsons type of vibe.
Ooh, wow.
Okay. Listen, even on that, I don't know if anybody's seen on that screenplay when he batted the pass. If he'd have batted just a little harder.
Come on. What are the chances of that? Talk about, the NFL God saying, screw you, pal. Will McDonald smacking it, and it's still having enough mustard that it fluttered, but still went into his hands. That could have been a backwards pass. That could have been a turnover. That could have been, who knows? Unbelievable. Yeah.
But honestly, man, one thing I can sit there and say, I love it. I love the Todd Downs offensive play calls. The offense actually looks a million times better with him at the helm calling the plays and things. Hackett sucks. Listen, if we happen to bring in a new coach, I want him to stay as OC. Honestly speaking, and
who, Downing you're talking about?
Yes, Todd. Yeah, he's good. He called a great game. He even the week before that against the Colts, he called a good game. It comes down to the defense not slamming the door. We have to slam the door, even against the Patriots. We have to slam the door. We have to.
Yeah,
because now
the defense been struggling.
Now you're talking about, all right, New England, the Broncos game, the Colts game. Those 3 games, right? Mm-hmm. Now it's a different outlook. Now we're in the hunt for a playoff spot.
Of course, the season flips. Yeah.
And one thing I can sit there and say, we have us a kicker. Carlson.
Damn, blessed be he. Yes, Anders Carlson. Yes.
Yes. We have it. We have a kicker. That's one thing.
Thank God.
Thank God. We needed him. We actually needed him.
Could have used him earlier this season. Yeah.
Games ago, we needed him. But Jamie Sherwood, MVP. The guy.
Hey now. Okay.
Jamie and Sherwood was all over the place. That's why I kept hearing Sherwood. He was everywhere.
He was all over the field.
Yeah, he was. And 9 out of 10, like Mosley's out of here, so I'm thinking maybe we probably gonna get an outside linebacker maybe later in the draft or whatever the case may be. He's gonna be that middle. Quincy's gonna. It's still room for for everybody to get better. These guys are young.
That's true. Yeah, Jamian's still on his rookie contract, so yeah, he's incredibly young. And here's the other thing to remember: is a new defensive coaching staff coming in? Are we going from 4-3 back to 3-4 days? What's happening schematically speaking? And then what does that mean for a Jermaine, Quinnen, this? All of a sudden they're flipping to different positions. So that's a sneaky one that we don't talk enough about. Real quick, baby, we got a 5-piece of memberships being gifted, despite even this being a post-game, therapy of some kind. But for Lily in Big D, baby. Booyah! 5 more raffle tickets, baby. Here are the 5 new members of the Boy Green Coffee Club, Patrick Volpe, William Turkowitz, Finnegan's Flight Crew, Atlanta Jet Fan, shout out there, Chris K. the Fifth. You guys are all now members of the Boy Green Coffee Club. And again, every membership gift to get your raffle ticket for our contest at the end of the month. All the details in the scrolling ticker. For Lily and Big D, we appreciate you. Back to the phone lines, baby. We got Hep here on the show. What's up, Hep?
Hey, Paul. Hey, fellas. What'd you think of the 2 backs today?
Oh man, I'm going to be honest. The bigger mystery to me was Isaiah Davis. Braylon Allen, we saw the pops, and we thought if we saw more, he would, and he did. He wasn't really a receiving back in Wisconsin, or at least they didn't utilize him that way. And then we saw the ground and pound running. So that part, I was like, okay. Isaiah Davis, to be honest, has been an unbelievable, pleasant surprise. He was running the ball well. He had that 17-yarder for the touchdown, catching the ball out of the backfield. I think, again, regardless of what happens, if the Jets keep Brees for next year and they don't trade him off or anything and they have the 3, then you got a 3-headed monster back there where you can kind of split the load so it's not all on one guy. And if the Jets decide to flip him and restart, you look at Braylon and Isaiah, you're like, you could do worse in the backfield than Braylon and Isaiah. So I was very, very encouraged by what I saw from Isaiah Davis and Braylon for that matter.
Yeah, I mean, you could put both Allen and Brees in the backfield and then keep Isaiah Davis in the wingback slot. You could you could actually utilize your 3-headed monster.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm not. I had a good time watching the game.
And that's how I put it. That's how I put it. I'm going to be honest. I watch a game. There was some exciting moments, some splash plays that got me out of my chair. Some frustrating moments, like any Jets game, like geez, this. But then I kind of walked away from the game with the loss, going, okay, the Jets draft position is here. We had some fun. We had some young players show up. It's not like we had the Jets-Giants game, like, what was it, last year, the year before, where, you win barely by the skin of your teeth and everyone says, what a disgusting win, and people were making fun of you on shows. Like, the fact that we got all this positivity of the kicker this and young players this, and then we lost to maintain the position, I was kind of like, I had some fun watching the game.
Yeah, for me, it felt like I was watching a preseason game for next year.
Yeah, there you go. Right.
Gutting out the talent, seeing what's going on. Okay, that kind of thing. But anyway, I'll see you later. Peace out.
Appreciate you. Thanks for the call, Hep. Again, that's how I felt. Again, it's weird. This is just weird, man. The head coach is gone. The GM's gone. Obviously, Woody's given up, for lack of a better word, on the season. Like, he's waved the white flag. Yet there's still a month of games to go. So us as fans, it's kind of weird. What are we supposed to be doing? What's going on? I don't know. But we're trying to manage the best that we can. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. We've got 400-plus people in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe, baby. We're live every single day at 7:30 in the morning, plus extra shows like this, the postgame show. Back to the phone lines here. Let's see if we got the Wi-Fi good. Ricky, New York, live?
Hey, what's up, Paul?
Oh, thank God. Here we are. Ricky, love the background.
I had to restart my computer.
Okay.
At any rate, man, that game started off so good today. Last night I predicted the game would be 27-24 Jets, and for a minute there, it looked like it was going to be 26-23. I was like off by a point on each one. Man, not to steal a line from Bart Scott, but our defense can't stop a nosebleed in crunch time. They played well, for the most part during the game. But got to the end when it counted, and they folded up like a lawn chair. And the other thing is, like, I got to bring this up, that special teams play where they got that return all the way out. I mean, dude, our guys looked like they just, like, lack of energy. Like I think they thought, like, oh, we're ahead. This is just going to be one of those standard returns that doesn't go anywhere. And they just kind of were going through the motions, and we got stung by it. That to me was like a big play that really stood out as far as kind of the momentum shifting. And, I thought it was bad, the last game where with less than 5 minutes left, we had 40 yards in penalties. But today, I mean, good God, we got, less than a minute left, and we let them go down the field and kick the field goal to tie it. and then just let them march right down the field in overtime. Just super disappointing. And then I got to listen to Ulbrich afterwards saying our process is right. The guys are doing everything right. The hell they are. They're not, man. You know, this defense that used to be one of the best in the league can't stop anybody in crunch time. It's just, we cannot get him out of the building fast enough for me.
Yeah.
You know, now I did make another prediction last night. The Bills were going to get ahead of themselves. They got their eyes on that Lombardi, and they were going to overlook the Rams. And the Rams are up, I think it's 31-21 right now.
Yeah, let me get it's 38-21 now. Good.
Oh, they scored again. So, okay.
Yeah. Wow.
And, you know, unfortunately, my one bet fell through today, so I will not be able to go to the Jacksonville game and hang out with the other Jets fans like I had hoped to. Probably going to give my ticket away now, but I am one Jared Verse sack away from winning $90. So even though that won't pay for the game, $90 is $90. So
damn straight.
Fingers crossed. You know, ahead 38-21 with a quarter left. That means more dropbacks, more chances for that. So come on, Verse, put Josh Allen on his ass one time for me. $90. Come on.
There you go.
Let's get Ricky some money. That the Bills would lose to the Rams, and then they're going to turn around and lose to the Lions next week, and they're going to lose back-to-back games.
Wow.
That was my big hot take for last night. They asked for a hot take, so I gave them one. The Bills are going to drop back-to-back games.
Wow.
And it looks like I'm almost halfway there in those back-to-back losses for them. So go Rams for today.
There you go, Ricky. Thanks for the call, brother. And I'm glad we were able to power through the Wi-Fi there. And again, that backdrop is great. Hey, come on, Jared Verse. Let's win Ricky some money, for God's sakes. Come on now. For Lily and Big D. By the way, it looks like we have a kicker. Wish we would have had him the entire season. How many games change? Again, you lose to Buffalo. You lost by 3. You missed 2 field goals. Denver, obviously, game-winning field goal op. You missed that. I mean, just so many. You just get numbed by all the misses. And that goes to show you for we're 3-10. I mean, that sucks, obviously. Thought we were going to the Super Bowl. We're 3-10. Not great. But you see the 5, 6, 7 games that are all decided by one score, and you just flip a few of those, and all of a sudden you're there. I get you can't just do that, but here we are. But shout out to Anders Carlson, and sorry, Grandma. You know, like the Practical Joker, shut your face, Grandma. Well, Grandma got it. And I will say, Jets gang, the most embarrassing thing in overtime, they just how professional. I'm not calling out the Dolphins. I'm like the Jets, right? Like you fancy yourself a professional defense. How do you let another team run the same play back to back that gains like 30 yards? Like, dude, where's your pride, for God's sakes? Terrible. Absolutely god awful. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. Up next is Johnny Boy here on the show. What's up, Johnny?
BG, how are you, buddy?
Yeah, I'm in the darkness with you. Maybe not literally like you are, but I am. Yeah,
I'm with the family. We're out going around to go look at lights and stuff like that.
Oh,
tonight.
nice. Oh, great.
Getting hot chocolate and whatnot. Ooh. So I'm just real
festive.
Quick.
Okay.
You know it after the game and check that out. But I want to ask you things in regards to that game, right?
Sure.
It was tough. It was a tough game. Like it sucks we lost. I mean, but it is what it is, right? I know one of the guys was talking about Todd Downing and the play calling in regards to that.
Yeah.
I'm not impressed by it. There was no real adjustment in halftime for the offense itself. You kind of saw that the defense started to really see what we were doing in regards to, throwing it in the flats and the whole nine. I mean, now, I do want to say something, and I wanted to get your thing in regards to it. What was your take on the running game without Breece Hall? Like, how did it look to you? And I love Breece Hall, and I'm a Breece Hall guy, but I want your opinion in regards to that.
Yeah. First off, I will just say on the whole, again, I respect all opinions. I like different ones, right? Like maybe that's like Nick Saban. I'm like, Jesus, Nick, who? What? Nick Saban, okay. And then I don't either. But NYJKO goes like, man, I want Downing back. I want to just say this. I want this entire thing burned to the ground. I don't want any memory that this ever happened. So I don't care if Todd Downing calls a couple of great games down the stretch. Yippity doo dah. Do it for somebody else, pal. I'm not retaining anyone here. Brant Boyer, he survived like 12 different tenures in a row. He's got. Everyone's got. I am absolutely starting from the ground up, coaching staff wise, like brand new staff coming in. I don't give a flying who, what else anyone does. So real quick on NYJKO and the uncomfortable conversation, Johnny, to your point on the running game, is it looked good. It looked good. It looked efficient. Both guys can run and catch passes. You're keeping them both fresh, and they're both day 3 picks. Again, I love Brees too. I love Brees. And the Jets are going to have Jets / this new regime will have a decision to make because Brees Hall, after this season, which has 4 games left, there is 1 year left on his deal. What do? Do you give him buco bucks? He's eligible for a contract extension this offseason. Do you flip him to a contender and get like I said, I've said this a few times, a Christian McCaffrey-like package and get a couple of mid-round picks? You don't have to pay that contract, and then you invest those resources into other things. Because Brees is going to command some sort of money. I don't think he's getting Christian McCaffrey 19, 18, 17 million per year, but he's probably going to look for 10 million plus. And do you want to do that or pay Braylon Allen, Isaiah Davis are probably making like $2 million per year? Like, I mean, and you can use that money in other places. So long story short, Johnny, I think you knew what the answer is going to be, but painfully we admit it. The running game looked good. The receiving game looked good. All of it did.
To see Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis, the way they were hitting the hole, there was no thing. They were going right through the hole.
Decisive. Absolutely.
And wanting to get contact because they were not going down on the first hits, which I was like, holy crap. Did you see? I didn't see the stats yet or anything because as soon as the game was over, right around. But what was the attempts of rushing? Like, how many times did they get the ball this time around?
You talking about the Jets running backs?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So those were the only 2. Braylon and Isaiah were the only ones that touched the ball from a running perspective in the game. They had 21 carries combined, 83 yards, 4 yards per clip, the 1 touchdown, and that was it. So I know those won't overwhelm you, but that was double what the Miami Dolphins production was for what's that worth. But yeah, so they didn't commit to the run entirely. Obviously, only 21 carries total in the game. That the carries were more than the Dolphins. But yeah, 80 yards, 4 yards a clip. But I think it's a good a tease because I think there's a chance that's what Zach Rosenblatt was kind of hinting at, that the Jets could just shut down Brees Hall, and we're going to get a month sample size of whatever this young buck combination looks like, and we'll get a good feel with a couple of games instead of just 1 to judge it off of.
And the reason I say that, because this was supposed to be the type of offense that Aaron Rodgers was supposed to get, right? To where even though his attempts were still pretty high, I'm predicting. I haven't seen the stats again. I don't know how many, but it was supposed to be a really good running game that we were supposed to have, right? And it just never really occurred because I think the most attempts we had in a game was like 18. So we broke it with 21 this time around. So if that tells you anything, you know, it's nuts to me. And the other question, the other thing that I wanted to talk about, right, is the receivers. The other day, right, we were talking on your show in the morning, and everybody, guys are not watching it. He's on every day at 7:30 in the morning, right? Check him out. I already know.
Appreciate you.
Is seeing Devontae Adams, Wilson, and even Lazard running the correct routes this time around. Other than that one play when you saw Wilson and Adams run into each other, which I was like,
only the Jets. And at first they were both injured, and I didn't get to see it. I just heard Trent Green, who was on the call, and it's like, oh boy, Garrett Wilson is limping badly. Devontae getting medical attention. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Our 2 star players ran into each other and injured each other? Does that happen to other teams? What the? And then thankfully Garrett immediately went back to the huddle, and then Devontae pointed. He must have like bit his lip or something, or a helmet hit his lip. And I'm like, oh, thank God, it's nothing too serious. But I could not believe that when that happened. Unbelievable.
But you saw the difference. You saw the difference in regards to that. They looked a lot better, man. Like the whole offense as a whole unit looked a lot better, and I was surprised by it. Even some of the plays that the tight ends were doing this time around, because again, they weren't, the line held really well. I thought so. At least it looked like it, except for a couple of sacks and all that. So
yeah,
I say this to say, the reason I'm saying that is to say this, right? With the free agency coming on, and we said there's no wide receivers out there, right? I mean, should we run it back with them? I mean, you saw something with it today. Like, what's your take in regards to that? And they're coming back, so I appreciate you wanted to call love. It was it is what it is, man. On to the next year, but it sucks. It was good. Hep, I want a new song soon, please, man.
Ooh,
like,
yeah, sure.
But yeah, let me know what you take on the wide receivers. Appreciate you, BG.
All right, we'll do, Johnny. Thanks for squeezing us in between family time. Yeah, baby. We're sickos as Jet fans. Real quick on the wide receivers. If Devontae could come back again, he holds the cards. And what I mean by that is the Jets or no NFL team is going to pay him $36 million next year, and he's owed $36 the next 2 years. No guaranteed money on that. So he controls it. If the Jets say, hey, you want to take a pay cut? He's like, blow me. Then they're like, geez, we have no choice. We got to cut you or trade you if he would work it out with some other team. But if all things could be aligned, I would love Devontae Adams back. He's Devontae friggin' Adams. He's really talented, and I think Garrett gets unbelievable benefits from being his teammate, so sure. On Lazard, I saw what Lazard looked like without Aaron Rodgers last year, and that was a tough watch. Now, maybe Lazard has matured in that time, and it's a conversation. I mean, obviously, they don't trust Malachi Corley. He was a healthy scratch again, man. So I thought there was a chance he could be your wide receiver 3, but obviously the Jets don't feel that way. Maybe the new staff will feel differently. So, yeah, I'd love Devontae back, no question. Lazard's more up in the air for me. I totally understand if the team decided to move on, to be honest. Let's go to a couple of different comments here. We got Ace of Spade with a YouTube Super Chat. Every time we get a Super Chat, Soraya Luna chimes in.
Wow.
If Mike Vrabel wanted to keep Downing, would you be okay with it, Boyd Green? Of course I would. Now, again, on the surface of bringing him back, I'm not sure because like this horrible season, I don't want any reminder of it. But obviously he's got connections to Vrabel. So if that was his choice, and I would trust his choice because 2 of his offensive coordinators he hand-selected became head coaches. That is Arthur Smith and Matt LaFleur. So obviously he's got a good temperature for offensive coordinators. He's done a wonderful job. So yeah, if that was his choice, I'd be like, okay, I trust you, Vrabel. I don't want to be cherry picking on someone else's staff. I don't want to say, hey, Vrabel, you could come in, but you got to hire this guy or this guy or this guy. That's what happened with the Matt Rule thing, apparently, and that worked out because Rule was a terrible NFL head coach. But the ownership tried to handpick his staff. I don't want to be handpicking staff, so I don't want to be running all kinds of whatever the word is of tomfoolery and whatever, meddling. That's what I was looking for. I don't want to be meddling with the staff. If that's who he wants, okay, fine. I don't know if that's who he's going to want, but nonetheless. Ace of Spade, by the way, we just entered you in for another raffle ticket. Thank you for the super chat. I have 2 raffle tickets, baby, so God bless. Thank you. Thank you for all the support, everybody. And then I want to highlight 2 comments here from our guy, FL Phil 98, and then we'll get back to the phone lines. FL Phil 98, how many times did I say, are you worried about paying Hall? And I love Hall, the player. This is the complicated part, very complicated. I love Brees. He makes explosive plays. That's the one thing we didn't really see from Isaiah Breland today of these 50, 60-yarders of craziness. We didn't see that. And that's what Brees is capable of. That's the Brees Hall effect. That's the home run effect. But, as we're going to be looking at decision-making, and a new regime coming in is another big piece of this FL Phil 98, is that I believe Joe Douglas and this regime would have paid. A new regime coming in? Ooh, you don't know if who they're going to pay. Saz, Garrett, Jermaine, Hall, you don't know. That's a big unknown. None of us know. But that might be the reality, especially since we saw door number 2. Because I've told you guys this story before. I used to work a job. I won't name names. But I used to work a job, and the job was fine. But one day I called out. I said I had to do something. So they experienced life without me in that job. And guess what they decided? We don't need him. And they moved on. And they brought me in for a meeting a couple weeks later, said, Paul, you're fired. And what happened was they experienced what life was like without me in the job at that role and how they had to figure it out otherwise. And it worked out. So that's the danger of ever calling out. They see door number 2 and go, door number 2, not that bad. Save a little money. Bing, binga, boom, ba, bamba. booyah, out of a job. So, it's not Brees's fault that he got hurt, but yikes. FL Phil 98 said Rodgers missed our tight ends all day. I don't know. Jeremy Ruckert had some drop ski issues. Now, Conklin, he missed a time or two. There's no question. I would say all day. Jeremy Ruckert, he had some issues. Jeremy Ruckert. That guy friggin' sucks. Get off my team forever. Please and thank you. God bless. C'est la vie. All right, let's go to another caller here. We got plenty of callers here. Again, 500 people in the room. Make sure you guys like the video. Hit subscribe. Nick Teodoro here on the show. What's up, Nick?
Look, Morgan, honestly, just get another brick in the wall, right, Pink Floyd?
That's right. Quite fitting.
Like, it's nice because, to your point, like, and I'm glad it's a nice segue, but because, like, we saw Davis, we saw Allen, and they're very complimentary backs. And I know Brees is a talented back, but there is some value to, like, the McCaffrey deal that just happened, a year or 2 ago? Well, whatever it was, 2-3 years ago. Like, if you have a competent GM and a competent coach, a second and a fourth round draft pick could be very valuable to us moving forward. And I think Braylon Allen's pretty damn good. He looks pretty damn good. And he's only 20 years old, right? 20, 21, right? Like,
yeah. Let me see, Braylon. He was the youngest. I mean, he still is because nothing has changed, I guess. He was the youngest player. Yeah, he's 20. He doesn't turn 21 to the end of January. Unbelievable.
Yeah, like, it's just, to me, he's not going to be, like, again, I'm not going to put it out there like the Marshawn Lynch level, but, like, he could be a poor man's Marshawn Lynch, and you pair him with a decent pass-catching back that can be a spread offense type of back, you have something there. So, like, to me, today was it was a positive experience because, like, the one benefit, because he's not going to take himself out of the game, we all know Rodgers is not moving himself anywhere. Like, he's not going to take a seat. So, all right, the way I view it is like preseason. Be a what they call I'm going to use air quotes, capable camp arm, right? Like, show me what the skill position players can do. And today, I saw at least a little bit of what they can do. And it's promising. With, like, I don't think Davis is going to be like a feature back. I don't think it'll be anything special. But, like, you've seen at least the little bits of what you can do with the framework of Allen and Davis as your power back and your pass catching back, if you want to have an offense like that. And that's really encouraging to me, no matter who the coach is. So I think there's pieces here that we have to see moving forward. I want to see more of, like, I don't care about Sauce Gardner right now. I want to see Bernard Converse. I want to see, like, even Eccles has been here for 3-4 years. I want to see what Stiggers can be. If it's cornerback 2, I want to see what that looks like moving forward. Because if you have a couple complementary pieces, it makes everything a lot easier for the next coach coming in. So I think today it's a loss, but it is what it is. It's another brick in the wall, right, Pink Floyd? Like, it's just what it is. So let's take the positives of what we can move forward. And I think there's some things here that we've seen that can be used for whoever the next coach is, versatile pieces. So it's a positive outlook, even in a loss. Again, where are we going? Up one spot, up 1 to 4 spots, down 2 to 4 spots. Doesn't really matter. We want to see what's going to be on the roster, what we have controllable, and there's some decent pieces here that we can use. So it was a nice step in the right direction, even in a losing effort, because of the fact there's nothing gained from a win or a loss in this game.
Fair enough, Nick. I appreciate it, and thanks for the call. Yeah, there is stuff to take away. We'll see. Quan, unfortunately, had an illness. He was not a healthy scratch day. Quan was just unavailable for the game, but they would have went Brendan Eccles anyway. Hopefully, like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing some of these younger pieces, unproven pieces, getting opportunities. Absolutely, I am open to it. One more comment here. FL Phil 98. We'll get to some more phone calls. Earlier this year, people were saying we have to pay all the 2022 draft picks. I said, are you worried about paying Hall? Are you worried about paying JJ? Are you worried about paying Sauce? Here's the good news, for lack of a better word, with this first world problem. Jermaine ain't getting paid after this year because of the Achilles, so you can kind of punt that one for now. Although you have to decide on the fifth-year options all by early May. And for me, I'm picking them all up. And those three are Sauce, Garrett, and Jermaine. I'm picking all three of those up, and I will have team control of those three players for the next 2 years. That's the easy part. But when to eventually pay Jermaine crazy money if he gets his crazy double-digit sack season next year or what have you, we'll see. Sauce coming off this shitty year, I imagine he's not going to want to get the bag. So Sauce gets punted, Jermaine gets punted, and then your two choices are this, Garrett, Brees. To me, the Garrett one's easy. How about that? Garrett now has more receiving yards than any Jets receiver through their first 3 seasons ever, and he's still got 4 games to pad those stats. Garrett, no problem. I'll pay you, buddy. Hall, again, that's ultimately where we could get some trade action. And by the way, Flora Lily in Big D asked, what could we realistically get for B. Hall? My guess, a second and a fourth, a second and a fifth. I think the right contender that believes they're the running back away would pay that price. The 49ers paid that price to get Christian McCaffrey from Carolina. I don't know who it is. I'd have to take a sit down and look. Obviously, Derrick Henry was only signed for a year in Baltimore. That would be a team. See someone like the Eagles that, again, believe that Saquon is that next piece. Find the team like that, get that package, you avoid paying Brees, and you get the couple assets. That would be the conversation. All right, let's go back to the phone line. So we got our guy Devin, who was at the Jets-Dolphins game. What's up, Devin?
What's going on, BG? How you doing, my brother?
Man, complicated today, man, with everything that was going on. There was fun moments, but Jets.
I'm gonna say this. I was at the game with the AFC East Roundtable. That was their thing.
Oh, awesome.
So I was with the Richie and I was with TD fans, and it gave me so much pleasure to talk so much shit to TD fans about how that stadium was so quiet for the majority of the game. I was like, you guys are great hosts. You're very understanding and compassionate to your guests.
Yeah.
You're not loud at all. I was like, I appreciate that. So I was killing TD. Yeah. I was loving that.
That's awesome.
But of course, he got the last laugh. But I told him, I said, the way I looked at it, I was like, I wouldn't either way. I got to watch a game, and y'all little stupid, obnoxious chants from Dolphin Land is so stupid. They got like the worst chants. I'm like, this is your chant in their song. I'm like, whoa, really? That's supposed to be intimidating someone or something like that. I'm like, wow. So anyhow, that was pretty cool. But I will say this: I'm not gonna blame this game on Aaron Rodgers. Although, if he would have threw the ball to the red line to Garrett Wilson, that would have been a touchdown.
100%. Not enough people are talking about that. Again, it's awesome that Garrett got his 2 feet in. It's this crazy 42-yard thing. No one was behind. He just softball. That's an 80-yard touchdown.
Absolutely. I was like, what I'm saying? I'm not killing him for that, but that would have been a difference in the game. That was a touchdown right there. It was Garrett put a nasty move. And that's the other thing. Like watching the games live, this is the second game that I went to this year. And watching the games live, I keep coming away with the same thing. Like Garrett is always open. And the other side of it is like, and I'm sure there's going to be breakdowns on this from the film guys, but like Aaron stares down on half the field. It's like a rookie move. It's like he doesn't scan the entire field anymore. He like looks at one half of it, and then he just goes with that. And that's like, man. I mean, he was moving. He was moving well today. It's just like, bro, like,
for sure.
Like if you're gonna move to the side where Garrett and Devontae Adams is on. So you got better options there. It's just, I'm just looking at it and I'm seeing guys wide open. Tight end wide open. So, and the other thing that he does a lot, which I guess is a double-sided coin, is that he does a lot of audibly. Like he changes the plays a lot, and I don't know. So I don't know how we can put that on Downing. You know what I mean? To be like.
Right.
His play calling is terrible. If he's calling plays, because you look at guys when Aaron does run the play and they're like wide open. I don't know if I'm not saying I want it for my offensive coordinator. I am absolutely not saying that. I want someone to really look at and take a hard look and make some tough decisions for our team next year. Because I do want to see the younger guys get evaluated because they're not being evaluated enough. Like I don't still understand why Malachi is not being utilized. We are not. Maybe now that we are mathematically completely eliminated,
maybe that's what opens
possibilities. Then, but there's no value to like showing me. And some of the play calling, even on defense, was atrocious. I remember it was like a 3rd and 15, and they took Will McDonald off the field, and brought back on Clemens. And I'm like, well, in what world does that make any sense? Why it's third and 15. You know this is going to be a passing down, and you're going to ask him to do what? Rush the passer?
That should be the number one celebration. This staff is getting fired and eviscerated. The number one thing Jet fans should celebrate is no one else is coming with this stupid ass defensive line rotation. No one else does it. It's only this very specific channel of coaches of the Salas and Ulbrichts and stuff. And whoever's coming in is more often than not going to be different than that. And then we won't have any of that anymore. Quinnen's going to be playing like 100% of the snaps. Will's going to be playing all these snaps, and let's see what happens.
I had to ask Richie, and it was like a crucial series. I forgot where it exactly was. I think it was like towards the end of the third quarter. And Quentin wasn't on the game. When isn't it on the first series? It was the beginning, like the second half or something like that. I'm like, yo, I was like, yo, is Quentin hurt or something like that? Because I didn't see it for the first two plays. Then he came in and it was third and long, and he came in on that play. And I'm like, well, why would he be on first and second? I'm done with a lot of these guys too, man. Javon Kinlaw is.
Oh God!
I have no use for that guy. I have no use for Clemens. Yeah, bro. And Clemens. And speaking of stupid penalties, you know what I said to Rich? I was like, it's good to see. What's his name? 10 is back. And I'm like,
Lazard.
yeah. No, what do you got? 2 penalties off the rip in the first half. I'm like, missed that. Like a hole in the head. So yeah, we need some tough luck, man. But man, I enjoyed the game. Like I said, I spent the majority of the time in a lead position, so that felt good. And even when it was close and there was 2-point difference, I was like, "You guys are only beating us by 2 points. We're supposed to suck, right?" So that was fine. That was amazing. That's good. And they have a way better stadium than MetLife too, man. That was just
Hard Rock was
taken away.
I've never been there.
Oh
Is it
my
good?
gosh!
Oh, good.
Oh man,
oh, wow.
That stadium, BG. I was like, yo, this is nice. And except don't ever sit on the visitor side. If you ever go,
I've done that with every ticket. Yeah, every game I've ever gone to, I always somehow end up in the visitor.
Yeah, I would want to sit on the visitor side to support my team, but not at Hard Rock. Dude, the sun. There was an area where it was like a square where the sun just never left it.
Oh,
you have to have been baking right there. Like, there's no way. I'd have been like, no way, no, I ain't getting up. You know. But yeah, man. So it was cool, man. But I just wanted to call and check in, bro. Got to support you, my dude. Even though these are hard times for you, it's hard times for us, so we got to go through it together. So,
love it.
Appreciate you, brother.
Thanks, Devin. Appreciate you, man. And yeah, I'm glad you got to go to the game, and I'm glad that there's been some fun games because obviously there's been games this year that have not been fun. And I was very lucky. I only had the opportunity, unfortunately, to go, or fortunately, I guess maybe, to go to the one game this year. There was Jets Patriots Week 3, and that was one of the most awesome experiences, pregame, game, all of it. Celebration. Like I said, it was like an exorcism, but for the Patriots, like, let's kick their ass, and it was awesome. But I'm glad because Devin got to go to the Texans one too, which was a fun one in the second half. So that's awesome. Absolutely great. My father, quoting Sticks, it was the best of times. It was the worst of times. There it was. Yep. That's for sure. Let me answer a few more comments and then we'll sign off here. So again, all the people saying Clemens snaps Clemens. Yeah, I know. Again, that should be the number one thing you guys celebrate when the coaching staff is officially eliminated on Black Monday. Garrett Wilson was uncoverable. NY Jets FL agreed. And we're all talking about, I see the healthy conversation between FL Phil 98 and NY Jets FL and everybody on the trade stuff. FL Phil 98, you've been on it. You've been saying it about the possible conversations of trades. Again, Garrett, to me, I'm not getting traded, and I'm paying early. Again, to reiterate the rules one more time. After a player completes, again, when a rookie, let's explain all the rules. When a rookie gets drafted, okay, that's a first-round pick or even non-first-round pick. You get it no matter what. If you get drafted, you get a minimum of 4 years. If you're a first-round pick, you get the bonus fifth-year option. But if you get drafted at all, you get a 4-year standard contract. After your third season is completed, you are eligible to discuss a contract extension for the first time in your career. That's true. And so Garrett is eligible to discuss it. Now, the teams don't have to pay you early if they don't want to, but I would advocate, and we had a lot of comments. I was trying to go back and find them, but the yesterday's price is not today's price. Garrett Wilson's contract is going to be like, the yodel thing on Price is Right. Yodel, 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 yodel. It's going to be going up. So I'd pay Garrett this offseason. I'd absolutely give him the bag. Let's give him one of those top wide receiver contracts, some of that top 7, top 8, somewhere in the ballpark of 27 to 32 million a year, somewhere in that ballpark. I am absolutely paying Garrett. He's a superstar. I love Garrett. He's the one I'm paying this offseason. The rest of them, I kind of go shoulder shrug because, again, I want Sauce here long term. But if Sauce wants his bag now, I think we're all going to agree that he's not going to be the highest paid corner. So maybe it ends up being a better deal for the Jets. Jermaine getting paid off the Achilles. And then Breece, if he wants the deal, now we accelerate the conversations of, again, whether it's trade or whether it's this. And someone else earlier said, well, Paul, Breece Hall isn't Christian McCaffrey, and that is true. But Breece Hall is younger than Christian McCaffrey was when he was traded. So he's on his rookie contract. That is valuable and interesting because he's dirt cheap for year number 4 on his salary as a former second-round draft choice. So keep that in mind. FL Phil 98 says, yes, BG, not to sound like Pop, but I was right about everything, LOL. What was that? What was the line? He's always right or never wrong. I don't know. We have to crochet that on a pillow. We'll have to crochet that one on a pillow. Pop says, how will Wilson fare without Adams and Lazard? Well, he fared without Lazard for a month and looked just dandy. But on Adams, hopefully he has Adams. Hopefully he has a Robin to his Batman. In any scenario, which were the legitimate questions earlier this season when he was forced or asked to do it by himself and he did not do it by himself, we all went like, can you pay this guy? Because you can't just have excuse of number 1 corner, double coverage, things of that nature. You got to power through if you're the star receiver. How will he perform without Adams if he doesn't have him? Hopefully the next regime coming in helps him out. There it is. There's a FL Phil 98 quote. May not always be right, but he's never wrong. Boom. There you go. Terrific. Shout out to the 600 people in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe. We appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for jumping on the show. And then thanks, everybody. Like I said, the super chats and memberships all added to your raffle tickets, baby, for this conversation. By the way, the Buffalo Bills got back into that game. Let me get a refresh on the scores right before we sign off here. It's 38-35 now. Bills are right there in the game. 49ers are blowing out the Bears. And then the Seahawks ended up sweeping the Cardinals. Unbelievable. Cardinals beat our biscuits and then they lose to everybody else. What the heck? What gives? I don't know. Anywho, everybody, that'll wrap it up for the show today. We'll see you tomorrow morning for Boy Green Daily. Take care, everybody.